Okay, this may turn out to be a short video, but that's okay because we want to drive home one point. At the end of the demonstration we had in class, we were trying to prove out the amount in the non-controlling interest so we could have, and this is, by the way, of course, you recognize what we did in class on Thursday. We were trying to prove out the non-controlling interest at the end so we could work backwards if we needed to work backwards and prove our work. And of course, this was the non-controlling interest at the end. And one of the ways we did it is we worked backwards here. And what we were doing is we were working backwards from subtracting out the non-controlling interest share of income, adding back the dividends that got charged to get the non-controlling interest, and so forth. So we got back to the beginning non-controlling interest, which was $6,600. That was one way, and the other way we worked down to it was we took simply the net assets of the subsidiary, which is $23,000 of common stock and retained earnings. That's this number here. We then subtracted out the 80% of that, which belongs to the parent, because that's for surely belongs to the parent. And this bottom number here, the 4,600, got us to our non-controlling interest before adjustments, because remember, these numbers at this point are coming from the unadjusted subsidiary numbers down here. So then we have to make our adjustments, and our adjustments turn out to be the adjustments that are made. These adjustments, our adjustment of 2,000 represents, that's this adjustment here, this 2,000 right there, that represents the non-controlling interest share of the goodwill. Goodwill is total of 10,000, and so the non-controlling interest amount is 2,000. And that wasn't included in here either at this point, so that's why it's got to be included now in the non-controlling interest analysis. So that gets us a non-controlling interest at the end of 2013 or beginning of 2014. Our year, we add in the non-controlling interest share of income, we took out the non-controlling interest share of dividends, and it gave us the year-end amount. What we were trying to do, that worked in class, and I just want to review that here. What we were trying to do in class is we were trying to take the other shortcut method, which works like this. The other shortcut method, which we use in Chapter 3, was take the amount shown as the investment in the subsidiary, which is here, 28,100, divided by the parent's portion. You get a number. In this case, that number would be 28,100 divided by 0.8. That gets you 35,125. The difference between this number and this number in Chapter 3 was always Chapter 4 was always the net equity non-controlling interest. Net equity non-controlling interest. But here it doesn't work out. And when we looked at it, someone suggested correctly that we have to add in to this number here, we have to add in the deferred income from the inventory sale. And the reason that works is because this is a downstream sale. And in a downstream sale, the deferred income is charged all to the subsidiary through the equity method, and that portion that belongs to the subsidiary, or at least a percentage of that charge to the subsidiary's net income, is not real to the subsidiary. It's only a phantom charge. The deferred profit is frozen at the parent level. I'm going to show you in the next video why this is, to prove it. But one thing that we can always look at is we can always look at the mathematics and find out that it works. So let's do that. Take the 28,100, that's the investment. The deferred income for that year turned out to be the amount of $1,500. So we're going to add that in because it all got charged to the subsidiary on the books of the equity method, recognition of the subsidiary's income. So we take the whole amount that was charged, and since it was charged to the as a deferred income, it reduced the profit of the subsidiary. It reduced the profit of subsidiary on the books of the parent. Again, in the next video, you're going to see this better, but let's just go through and see that if you add back the deferred income, and this was the deferred income for the year in question. The year in question is 2014. That represents the deferred income. Where does it come from? If you don't remember, it's coming from this analysis here that we did, the deferred income of 2014, and that was right there. That's the 1,500. So we add that back in. Now we divide by 0.8, and what do we get? We get a number that is 37,000. Take the difference between 37,000 and 29,600, which represents what the true net investment account would be. That represents what the true net investment account should be, even under the equity method, if we didn't arbitrarily charge the deferred income to the investment account. So let's do that. Let's take that minus 29,600, and we will find we get the ending non-controlling interest as our proof, and we know we're there. This doesn't need to be done in upstream sales, and then again in the next video I'll show you why. So if you're still confused, hang on to your hats, and you'll see it the next time.